Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of 1917. 1917 tells the story of two soldiers who are sent on an impossibly dangerous mission, just the two of them, to deliver an important message that could save the lives of thousands, including one of our protagonist's own brother. But with such an important task on the line, they have very little time and a lot of ground to make up. Now, my thoughts with this subgenre of war films, I'm okay with them. They're not my favorite, but I'm certainly not dreading going into a war film. But it's easy for me to leave a war-based movie feeling just kind of all right. But the trailers for 1917 really captured my attention, and then it got all of this like crazy amount of buzz, and of course, it was hard for me to suppress some excitement heading into the film. And this one definitely lived up to that hype. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Well, Sam Mendes, the director, is our biggest main positive because it is his directing style that livens this entire film up. It's what gives it energy, it's what sets it apart from the millions of other war films that are similar, based in World War One, that we've seen over and over again. Mendes elevates all of that material. Now, much in the vein of something like Birdman, this film is meant to simulate a one shot throughout the entire movie. And the long takes that we get inside of this one shot simulation are some of the most impressive long takes I have ever seen in film. Because when you stop and you're just watching and you're completely immersed in this, you stop to think how immaculate, perfect, technical everything had to be to pull off the feat that is 1917. The production design is stellar in this film, and they had to build huge productions to keep the momentum moving because our characters are constantly moving in this movie, and we are moving right there with them without cutting away. The costume designs are all really strong as well. The camera work is flawless. Part of what Mendes does so well is move that camera. We're not saying stagnant. We're not just following the characters. We're not just following in front of the characters, leading them. We are swooping. We are moving. We are doing inventive things with the camera to take us into that next gliding shot without interrupting. It is amazing, and the cinematography in this film is absolutely stunning. It is gritty. It puts you into the trenches with these soldiers, and then it'll open up into a beautiful shot that almost comes out of nowhere, and they take your breath away when they happen. There's one moment that everything hits perfectly in the center of this film where it's a beautiful destruction of sorts, and it just opens up to this, and it is breathtaking. Like, I literally was taken aback in my seat. And bouncing right off of that point and that particular moment, this original score is stellar. It may just be my new favorite original score of 2019. That's how perfect it is. Thomas Newman perfectly captures the big moments, but it's really those tension filled moments that move the film along. But when we get to those bigger set pieces, where we get to softer songs, oh, it just opened up to this really magnetic music that elevated everything. The score is so perfect. And the story is also urgent. We are stuck in a time frame and we never leave that mission to go look at anything else or do anything else. We know what the mission is, we know what's at stake, and we go. This goes back to directing again, but Mendes just does such a great job of keeping you on the edge of your seat, keeping you enthralled, while never losing the human element. That was key for me here, is as we're going through these technical aspects, as we're exploring the dirty side of war, that I don't even think other films that show the dark side of battle have really delved into. This one really showed the unglorious, unsavory aspects to just being out there. and then brought it back around to the human characters here, the actual lives at stake, the actual people being affected. And I thought that worked well. Obviously, the editing is sublime to edit this one take simulation together as it is. It's perfect. And then we get to our cast, which I think are strong, but definitely play second fiddle to the technical feats of the film. George McKay was definitely the highlight for me. One, because his character was the highlight of the film as it was, but also I thought he just did a really fantastic job. We have a bunch of other all-star names here who do well, but they all have very minor roles and weren't allowed to really flesh out those characters much. So it's hard to say anything with that. Our other main role, I'm going to get into in a second, but George McKay definitely deserves a shout out here in the positives. So then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to 1917? Well, I'll kick off right where I left off, and that was the cast. And I just want to touch on Dean Charles Chapman. Now, I don't think he was bad per se in the film. One, his character I wasn't the biggest fan of, if I'm being honest here. And I also think Dean kind of hammed it up a little bit. Dean Charles was really like going for that hammy performance, and his performance led me down a path that made me not like the character rather than kind of elevate material that I otherwise would be meh toward. Dealing with characters, we have an A-list cast on the bill here, but I mean, they're virtually wasted. We didn't really need them in those roles. And when you look back on it, it seems like maybe a bit of wasted opportunity by casting these great actors and not doing all that much with them. And for all of the technical aspects, that one shot innovation that it uses, it definitely follows a lot of traditions and rules within war films. We're moving along kind of like level by level or stage by stage, so it feels very formulaic in that format. But honestly, that certainly is a little bit of a nitpick on my end because I do think the film has so much going for it technically and by way of storytelling that what are you gonna do? So overall, I loved 1917. This is one of the more exciting war films I've seen in recent memory that delivers such an amazing experience. So my recommendation 100% is full price ticket. You have to experience this in the movie theater. Let yourself be fully enveloped and immersed into this really unique take on a war film. It's really something special. So that is my review of 1917. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see 1917? And what is your favorite film set in World War I? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!